Collecting maple sap to make maple syrup. We got 58 taps out here. We collected these bags yesterday. These have been flowing for about 18 hours. Each one of these bags holds 3 gallons. So we got probably half a gallon there. What we do is we walk around. We got 4 acres here of trees that we tap, and we dump them into these bags. It is a long process, but if you come up here, look, you can see this tree flowing right now. That is sap flowing out of the tree. And all you do is you take this maple sap and you boil it down, and it turns into 100% pure maple syrup. This is a very beginner way of doing the trees. We do also have some bucket taps out that I'll show you guys a little bit later. But right now we're just collecting all these bags. And like I said, these have been flowing only for 18 hours. So this is quite a bit of sap for that amount of time. We typically want to get half a gallon to a gallon a day on good days. And what you want is you want it to be below freezing at night and above freezing during the day. So last night it got down to about 28 degrees and it's currently 55 degrees. So these trees are flowing like crazy today. And we got 58 of these to do. You just watched me unload 6 of them. All right, so from those 6 bags, we got about 2.5 gallons. The sap is crystal clear. When it comes out of the tree, you boil it down and it turns into the black or motor oily looking stuff. As you can see, there is a couple pieces of the tree in there, like those black dots. So we strain it before we boil it, and then after we boil it, we go ahead and we strain it 3 more times while we're doing the process. Typically, you want to tap a tree that's 12 inches in diameter, across. So this tree is a little bit too small to be tapping. We went ahead and tapped it this year just to see what would happen. But you typically don't want to tap a tree that is that small. And this tree has actually produced quite a bit of sap for us this year. And you can tap them year after year. You just want to make sure that you tap them at least 6 inches away from the previous year's tap. And you kind of want to go either above it or below it. And ideally you want it to tap it below a tree branch or above a tree root. That's where you're going to get your most flow. So these trees, we didn't get as much as those other 6, but every little bit helps. Normally I would have waited and collected these later, but I want to see how many gallons we got today from 58 taps. Because yesterday we emptied them and we got 30 gallons. So I'm hoping to beat that, and it hasn't even been 24 hours yet, guys. These are the other style taps that we have out. These are clear. These are the cheapest ones that we have. You can get a 12-pack of these clear ones for $8, $7 or $8. And then this is food grade hose. It's lead free. And this hose is 35 cents a foot. These bucket lids are $1.99, and these buckets right here are $2.99. These are food grade buckets. As you can see, food grade. And we didn't get that much out of this. But remember, we did empty these less than 24 hours ago. And you can buy these. We buy them from Blaine's Farm and Fleet because that's close to where we're at here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But you can get these at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware. Walmart even sells them. The taps we buy from Blaine's Farm and Fleet, or you can order them on Amazon. We do have a few different kinds of tree taps that are this style with the hose. I'll show you those coming up soon. These are the clear ones. These are the cheapest ones we have. We've collected 13 taps between bags and buckets. This bucket is actually super full for being emptied yesterday. So that's 14 taps to make 5 gallons. That's a little bit less than we would like per day, but it has not been 24 hours. So that's pretty good. 14 taps, 5 gallons, 18 hours of flow. And we are tapping, this right here is a silver maple tree. So the sugar content is a little bit less. It's about 2%. So it takes about 40 gallons of maple sap to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. If you have sugar maples, which are the best, the most ideal, for tapping, it's going to be about 4%, so about 20 gallons of sap should get you a gallon of syrup. So I'm happy with 14 taps producing 5 gallons for less than a day. So we do this just about every day during syrup season. So it is a lot of work. It is expensive, but it's a super fun hobby. So this bucket, not very much in it. Same thing with this bucket. So, all right, so we have 2 buckets over here on the south side of the tree. We got one on the north. We're up here in Michigan. The sun is to the south of us. So you want to tap the south side of the tree because you want as much sun exposure on that tree to get the sap flowing to warm that tree up. So we're gonna take a check and see how much difference there is. So this bucket is filled up to here. This is on the south side of the tree. That is actually really good. It's like right there. That's pretty much the same as the south side of the tree. But you're still supposed to tap. See, that still had a chunk of ice in it. So it's still so cold over here that there was a chunk of ice in there. Ooh. Look at this one, guys. This is what you want.
That's 21.
Look at that. That almost filled that 5-gallon bucket up. Paisley, you see? All right, so this tree right here, we've been calling our faucet tree. This has been our best producing tree 2 years in a row. As you can see, we got fat blue sacks here, which is what you like to see. And watch, I can guarantee when I pull this off, it'll be dripping. See that? That's how quick this tree drips. So 20 trees, we got 10 gallons. There's the faucet tree. I wish every one of our trees would go like that. And you can drink this straight out of the tree. It's got a nice sweet taste to it. It's really good. You don't want to eat or drink a whole bunch of it because it is a diuretic. Now we got this tree over here that we tapped 4 times because there's 4 branches coming off of it. So let's see how much we get from this. These are some fat blue sacks right here, guys. This is what you want. And look at that. You can see that one dripping. Can you see it dripping on camera?
A little bit.
That's what you guys want to see right there. Oh, look at that. This thing weighs 20 pounds. So that's 23 bags, 24 bags, 24 bags, and we're at 15 gallons already, guys. All right. Whew. This is our tree stand tree. As you can see, we hunt out of this tree here. We have these black taps. These are another style. The other buckets that we had the white ones on it. These ones are a little bit more expensive. We bought these on Amazon, and then they came with the blue hoses. I think the 12-pack is like 25, 30 bucks, but you get everything. But they don't seem to work as well. I actually prefer the clear ones to the black ones. This tree, we've tapped this tree every year for the past 4 or 5 years without giving it a year to heal itself. So I'm not sure if we're overdoing it or if all like the climbing stuff in the tree stand takes away from the sap production. But we still tap it, but you can see those 3 buckets got us like half a gallon. All right, so this tree we tapped 2 years ago right here. You can see it healed itself. Last year we tapped it right here and it split the entire tree. And we also tapped it right here and it split the tree all the way up to there. The tree has since repaired itself and we tapped it again. We probably should have given it another year to repair itself, but we didn't. So for the most part, tapping trees is safe for it. But for some reason, this is the only tree we've ever tapped that is split like that, and it took 1 year to heal itself. So as you can see right there, it split the tree pretty freaking good, guys. terrible. Produced almost nothing. And this is a big healthy tree, and we tapped it pretty much due south. You can put more than one tap per tree, but you want to make sure they're like I would, if I put two on here, I'd probably put one over there and one over here. You don't want them right next to each other, guys. Okay. This tree, you can see I tapped it 2 times. It's about a foot apart, and we ran them both into one bucket. So theoretically, this one should have more because there's 2 taps going into it. It had more than the last tree, and I'll take it. I like the bucket taps the best because it ensures nothing gets in there. We've had them fall off the trees before, but the bag taps do seem to produce a little bit better, I think. Because if we walk over here, you can check these out. We got some more bags. This one, I actually tapped twice, and I ran a hose into this bag. So this is for a bag and a hose. And you guys can see that tree dripping right there, can't you? I don't remember how many trees we're at right now, but we're at almost 20 gallons of maple sap. All right, you can shut it off. I gotta get this.
Go.
All right, so we have, my daughter asked a good question. She goes, how does the sap get into the bag? There's a hole in it, and then it drips. You can see it dripping, and it just drips right into the bag. So we're at, this bag's gonna put us at 20 gallons right here. 20 gallons, and we still have quite a bit to collect. I would say we're a little bit over halfway. All right. Water weighs 8.34 pounds per gallon. Sap weighs a little bit more than that because there's sugar in it. So these 5-gallon buckets weigh about 45 pounds, and we have to lug them around every single day. My wife, when she does it, she gets the quad and she puts them on the back of it, but I just carry them. So it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. This is a good tree right here, but I see some fat sacks. It has 2 fat sacks. This one, look at that drip. Look at how faucet, that's another faucet tree apparently. But look at that. All that beautiful, delicious maple sap right there. And if you guys are still here, you're probably wondering, where can I buy that sap? We did start selling it. We started selling it on an app called Whatnot. If you click the link in my bio, it'll give you $15 for free. I am a Whatnot ambassador, so when you sign up through my link, they do give me a little bit of a kickback as well. But you'll get $15 cash, which if you sign up through anybody else's link, you're only gonna get $10. And Whatnot is a live selling platform where I go live, I show the items that I'm selling. There's a little bar on the bottom for you to swipe, and you can buy stuff. And we sell stuff like maple syrup, we sell clothes, we sell all kinds of stuff. So if you're looking for steals and deals, even if you don't want the syrup, sign up for Whatnot through the link in my bio, guys.
Yeah.
So if you guys have noticed, some of the bags are like a non-see-through, and some of them are see-through. These bags we just started finding this year. They're the same thickness as the ones that say Rothberry on them, but you can actually see into the bags. I like these ones better because you can see how much it is. Because normally if you drive up, you can see that there's a fat sack, but you don't know if it's up to here or down to here. So I really like these ones, and this tree is producing extremely well. And we're not professional syrupers, so you can see we're losing some of the sap, and we don't know why. We've tried pounding them in less, pounding them in more, and we always seem to get a little bit of drippage. All right, so we're getting close to the end. I think we're at about 30 gallons. I'm gonna have to go and count them back up, but we're already at more than we got yesterday, which is good. Another reason I like the buckets instead of the bags is we had really cold weather, and the bags got frozen, and then it got super windy and it started beating the bags up against the tree, and it popped a hole in 6 of our bags. So we had to go through and replace them. And that's something you don't have with the buckets. The only thing you have to worry about with the buckets is if the wind gets really bad, they blow away. But you can always weight them down. That tree was a lot. And when you use the bags, you kind of want to get all this garbage crap out of the way so that the trees don't blow into it and pop holes in your bags. This might be the worst one so far today. So that one, not the greatest, but not the worst I've ever seen. So we'll come right over here to these buckets. All right, so that was pretty good, guys. Good. That's a full set, guys. Not really. It can hold about another gallon or so. But there's another 5 gallons just from those, what? 3 trees maybe? All right, so this tree, as you can see, we have 2 taps going into it. This one we probably should have tapped a little bit higher because I can see that there's sap stuck in there. That's not flowing out. So this one, this is a bag tap right here, and we shoved this hose onto it because we wanted to see if these metal taps are better than the plastic ones. And this concoction that we brewed up here, it actually seems to be working fairly okay. We still get sap, just not as much as we would like.
Yeah.
All right, so this is our last bucket tap. We have 5 more bag taps, and this one is really good, guys. I wish every bucket that we went to looked just like this. This is the first year of us tapping this tree.
Yep.
All right, so this tree we have tapped 3 different times. This should polish off this 5-gallon bucket, and then we have 1 more tree with 1 tap on it, and then we'll get it totaled up. All the sap that we got. Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, so this bucket and then 1 more. Last bag, we're gonna dump it in here, and then we're gonna tally up how much sap we have.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna tap this tree twice with these clear taps. These are 5/16 in diameter, so you're gonna want a 5/16 drill bit, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna go at a slightly upward angle, and you wanna go in about 1.5 to 2 inches. Guess I should have checked the battery. All right, and then I'm gonna tap this tree twice. This is a separate branch right here, and as you can see, the sap is already flowing. So we're gonna tap this one. Doing the same method. And then I already took the hose and put it on there. So you're just gonna go and you're gonna pound it in. And this one, this one is a little bit messed up. I forgot about that. So I'm just gonna pound this one in. And as you can see, the sap is already starting to flow, guys. Just gonna push that on there. Gonna push that one on there. Hear me that lid, baby? Thank you. I probably should have tapped this one a little bit higher because this hose is super long. But instead, I'm just gonna put it right over here. I'm gonna drop this one right in there. Stick that hose right in there. And now that brings our grand total to 60 taps, guys. All right, so we collected everything. We had 30 gallons that we collected yesterday, and we had 30 gallons that we collected today. Yesterday's collection was a 2-day collection. The weather wasn't really the greatest for collecting. Today it was really good. 18 hours got us the same amount. Come over here. We'll show them our furnace. So this is our homemade furnace. We made it out of a bed frame. We welded a bed frame together. I went to a metal yard and bought 2 sheets of metal and welded them together. And then we take these evaporation pans right here and you slide them just like that, and we build a fire underneath it and we evaporate it. We can get 8 pans going at a time, which is about 20 gallons on the furnace at one time. We boiled 55 gallons down 2 days ago, and it got us a gallon of syrup plus a pint and a half a pint, so whatever that is. So we have a little bit more than we boiled last time. Plus we're gonna get probably, hopefully, another 20 gallons before we get back here tomorrow. But we are gonna be live streaming tomorrow, us boiling the sap down. So if you're on YouTube, if you go to buriedtreasure_reply on TikTok, you can watch us from start to finish, the process of boiling the maple sap down into maple syrup. We'll talk about how we strain it before we boil it, how we strain it after we boil it, and then we'll also get into, my wife makes coffee syrup, habanero syrup, vanilla syrup, and cinnamon syrup, and we'll go over how she infuses the syrup with those things. And we make sure everything here is gluten-free. My son has celiac disease, so he cannot have gluten. So everything we use to wash these buckets and pans is all 100% gluten-free. We use Dawn dish soap, which is celiac safe. We hand wash everything. The pans that we boil it down to infuse with are 100% gluten-free. They've never been in a gluten environment. So if you have celiac disease, this stuff is safe for you because it is just sap. And we're up here in Michigan. You want to typically start tapping mid-January to late January. This year we tapped a little bit late. We didn't tap until the day before Super Bowl Sunday, and we only put out like 7 or 8 taps, and we missed a week of really good syruping. Last year we had almost 300 gallons of sap. I think it was 300 or 400 gallons of sap, and we ended up with a little bit over 8 gallons of maple syrup. We did expand our operation this year from 37 taps, and now we're at 60 taps with the 2 I just put out today. And you can typically, weather depending, you can leave your taps out until late March.